VTubers. Yes, the thing I rode quite the wave on back in 2020 with, and am still relatively a fan of. If you aren't aware, prior to my most recent success predating mainly to the well-performing months of March and April 2021, my channel was largely shoved into the algorithm and more public anime YouTube conscious via VTuber content. Basically, I would talk about Hololive VTubers and explain their individual appeals with friends. We did it with Nijisanji, then afterwards we used that momentum as a platform to help prop up a bunch of more niche independent VTubers, and overall, while I definitely don't like being referred to as the VTuber guy or whatnot, as I haven't talked about VTubers in almost a year, I still think that this is the series that I am most proud of, the era of my channel that I am the most proud of. Simply put, it was such a mutually beneficial series that looking back on it honestly just makes me so happy to think about. Obviously, I benefited because VTubers were really popular at the time, so making content surrounding the discussion of them was lucrative and whatnot. The people who I collabed with to get these videos out were all smaller creators than me and received a substantial amount of trickle-down clout, if you will. Is that the VTubers we talked about had huge increases in views afterwards. Shirodusuki Noki, for example, used the momentum to receive the attention of an actual VTuber agency and sign with them, where she still is now. So I benefited, the people I collabed with benefited, the VTubers we talked about benefited, and on top of all of that, the viewers benefited by watching what was some banger content, but also being exposed to even more streamers they would find to love. It's a series and time that when I look back, I've got to say I am quite proud of. But the thing is, that's the past, and VTubers are incredibly different now. Especially in the West, it feels like most VTubers don't follow the common tropes of the past nearly as much. Playing a character, separating yourself from reality as much as possible, all of these things have largely faded for better or for worse. And I honestly think it's just an interesting thing to look at. It's a relatively new and unique case study for how content develops on the internet. When VTubers first blew up, everyone thought it would be a phase, that it would blow over, and while it has largely plateaued, it still is a massive market for entertainment. And honestly, I'm glad that things are still this way. There's fantastic EN VTubers that are both indie and signed to the original Japanese agencies. There's JPs in every other language you can ask for. And while I'm not the biggest fan of what is currently most popular, one thing that can't be denied is that there's really a VTuber for everyone nowadays. And I just think that it's really awesome to see how the scene has developed over the course of the last few years. So back in the day, I made videos about VTubers that I liked, and my god, was there an absolutely absurd amount of VTubers that I liked. Really, I was on that peak COVID loneliness stuff, and my god, could you tell. And in the past, I would have probably just said that my favorite VTubers were Hachama, Subaru, and Luna. But guess what, bitch? Times have changed. So please allow me to share some VTubers that I still watch in this late part of 2021, and will surely be watching into 2022. So honestly, the first VTuber that comes into mind for me is Icebell. Now sadly, I found Icebell basically right after releasing the last indie VTuber video, so I was never really given a chance to publicly praise. And my god, is she one of my consistently favorite content creators. I mean, to put it simply, with absolutely everything she creates, you can really tell she's having so much fun and is proud of what she's displaying to her humble audience. And to be honest, I have no idea how many views this video is going to get, but if I could help her receive even a few more clicks, it would make me a happier guy. She does all sorts of comics, animated music videos, and more recently, her content has become more casual with all sorts of down-to-earth VR chat videos. She's probably the only VTuber out there who I still make sure to watch every scrap of content for. Yeah, overall, she's just pretty dope. Amelia and Gura have basically become the VTuber streamer fix for me for the most part. I don't really have time for streams anymore, which is probably the biggest reason why I'm not as huge on VTubers as I used to be, even though I respect them just as much as I used to. But Amelia and Gura are just the funniest in the end, in my opinion, so that's really about it. I don't really have much else to say, aside from how much I love little gremlin Amelia. And aside from that, it's really just casually watching whoever is live on Twitch when I have the time to catch a stream. I like Ron, Ray, Girl DM, Bao, Haru, and I guess a panda counts now too, doesn't he? And honestly, the biggest reason behind making this video is to just kind of put the question out there. What do you guys think? Do you still watch VTubers? Has your perception or appreciation of them changed as the media has kind of molded it more into this streamer adjacent form of content, to where it's not VTubers, it's not streaming, it's like this weird middle ground in between the two? Do you still watch VTubers? And if so, who are you watching? I'd love to know down in the comments section below. Let's have a little bit of a conversation. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, thanks for watching.